Okay, so good evening, all of you, once again, and welcome to the session. So today in this session, we are going to look at the NMAT 2022. We'll look at the NMAT paper, understand a little bit about the paper, not in detail because we'll have a separate session for that. But we will take up the concerns that most of you have regarding the NMAT exam because we received a lot of messages on WhatsApp and people calling us to understand, few things about NMAT. So we thought it's better that we have a common forum where we will discuss this out. Varun, you're there, right? Let's start the session.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So feel free to ask questions to chat, or if you want us to put the mic on, we'll put that too. And make sure that you clear all your doubts before you go out of the session, so that you're very clear in mind as to what you're looking at in terms of the examination. Okay. So that's the whole idea. So let's just get into the session. Okay, so I hope all of you have seen the NMAT form filling video. If you have not seen that, please make sure that you go through the form filling video and understand what the form filling process is all about. And when you go through the form filling video, you'll also understand few things about how the NMAT is conducted, in what modes that you can take the examination, what colleges to select, and so on and so forth. So if you have still any more doubts about the same, we'll pick it up here. That's the agenda for the session. So last year onwards, your NMAT paper has changed to a new pattern. So last year was the first year when this pattern was introduced by NMAT. And in this pattern, you have equal number of questions in all the three sections. So you have 36 questions in verbal ability, which is called as the language skills. You have the quantitative ability, which has got 36 questions, and you have the logical reasoning part, which has got another 36 questions. Okay. Now, among all these, verbal ability section has got the least time allocated to it. So it has got 28 minutes. It's given 28 minutes for the verbal ability section. Quantitative ability, you have the maximum time, which is 52 minutes, and the logical reasoning section, you have 40 minutes. Now, see, NMAT paper, now the score happens on a scaled manner. What that scaling is, we don't have to get into that, but it's an adaptive paper. So because of it, the scaling which is done. And also this paper is taken across various slots by people during this 2 months period when the exam is run, right? So some sort of a scaling is actually introduced in that. A total of 108 questions, time allocated is 2 hours, and the score can be a minimum of 36 and a maximum of 360. So that's how the exam looks like. Okay. So Varun, anything else that you would like to add here?
No, sir. I think this is pretty much self-explanatory.
Right. So what this paper is all about, the structure in detail and all, we'll come back to this when we are actually discussing the paper, and there will be a separate video. We will get into that, and we'll go part by part into each section and see as to how you can strategize the paper, what you need to do, how you will tackle questions. All that we will do at a later stage, but just for your understanding, this is how the paper looks like. Now, see, NMAT paper is an easy paper compared to all the exams that you're going to write. The two of the easy exams would be the NMAT and the STAMP. And although it's an adaptive paper, don't even compare this with the GMAT paper, which is also adaptive, although both of them is conducted by the same organization. Okay. Now, in the paper, if you look at the QA topics, all your QA topics which is there in NMAT paper is same as that of CAT. So you have arithmetic, algebra, geometry, combination, combinations, and probability. You have number system. You've got few questions on DI. The breakup of the questions will come to later. And apart from all these, the only other thing which is there extra in your NMAT paper is the data sufficiency part, and for which we will be having a separate class. Okay, so data sufficiency is the only part which is extra in this. And there are about 5 questions that you will get from data sufficiency area. And again, data sufficiency is only from arithmetic, algebra, geometry, permutation, combination, and probability rarely, and number system. So these 4-5 modules only. So there's nothing extra to be done for the QA part. On the other hand, in the language skills area, you have reading comprehension and parallel, which you have already covered in the CAT classes. Apart from that, there is grammar, there is vocabulary, which includes vocabulary, analogy, and prose test. So all these are part of the NMAT paper. So there are 2 different modules that we need to now look at in the English part. One is the vocabulary area and the grammar area. Some of you, we have already started grammar and completed it too. Okay, so grammar includes sentence correction, majority of it, and few questions on prepositions also. Okay, so that's the normal pattern of the paper. And then you have LR topics where you have linear arrangement, analytical reasoning, which is basically tables, matrices, distribution, and so on and so forth. You have direction and family tree, which also we'll be covering in the CAT class. All these areas of red which we have covered is not there in not being done for your CAT classes except for a part of critical reasoning. Syllogisms recently we did for one of the batches, so some of you have already attended it. You have coding, decoding, puzzles, and series, alphanumeric series, which is extra in the NMAT paper. So these three topics, sections put together, you have all these areas which are extra, and this is something that we will be covering up in the non-CAT classes that will be conducted. It has already started for one of the batches, so for the other batches, it will be conducted soon, okay, depending on where your course has reached. Now that's the part of the examination and the breakup of the examination. Varun, any doubts there?
No, sir, no questions whatsoever yet.
Okay, no questions, right? If anybody has doubts, please feel free to ask. Okay. Okay. Now, the NMAT examination can be written 3 times. Last year, all these 3 scores could have been utilized while you're applying for the what do you call Narsimonji's programs. This year, it is very clearly mentioned that only the first attempt score will be used for the Narsimonji NMIMS colleges. Okay. Now that means if you're only looking for NMIMS as an option, then you're going to write the NMAT only once. Okay. So you're going to write it multiple times only if you have some other college in mind. And there are not too many great colleges under the NMAT examination. So you have XUB's HR program, which is there. And then which is a decent program, which is among the top 10 HR programs in the country. Then you have the KJ Somaya's program, which is a decent college again. And then you have here in Sri City, IFMR, which is a Kriya University, which you can actually look at as one of the options. Now, there is an option of ICFI Hyderabad, but in ICFI conducts separate exam called IB side. That's much more easier than even the NMAT exam. So if you're really gunning for ICFI, that's a better exam to write. But NMIMS is the main college for which we are writing the NMAT examination. And Mumbai campus is what we are gunning for, with the first option as Mumbai's MBA program and the second option as Mumbai's HR program. Now, it is an adaptive test. So, Varun, you will let them know what adaptive test is all about?
Sure. So first, I think before that, there's one question regarding college choices. For the college choices, we are supposed to fill up the same priorities as filled by you on the form filling session, right? Absolutely right, Rahul. The same priority list that sir had discussed inside the form filling session. Right? Same thing you have to follow. Okay, so let me get to what is meant by an adaptive test. Right. So what happens inside a computer adaptive test is that it starts off by giving the students questions at a certain level, which will be of average level difficulty. Right. So you will have a question of average level difficulty present in front of you. If you answer that correctly, then the next question will then climb up to be of a slightly higher level of difficulty. Then if you answer that question say correctly again, then the next question again will go up to a slightly higher level of difficulty. So like that, the level of difficulty will keep on increasing as you answer the questions correctly. If you get an incorrect response at some point of time, then the difficulty level of the next question is going to go down, right? So the level of difficulty of the question is what is going to determine the weightage of that question in terms of getting you a score, right? So if you say get 10 questions wrong at the very beginning, then what is going to happen is that you're going to drop down to the lowest level of difficulty. So which means that after that, if you attempt and get all the rest of the questions inside the paper correct, even then you will not be able to climb up high enough to get a good score inside the paper, because you will not be able to reach the difficult level questions at all. So the initial part of the paper, when you have got average level difficulty questions, it is very important for you to get a few questions right. So what will happen is you will keep on climbing up to a higher and higher difficulty level. And at a certain level of difficulty, what will happen is that you will be able to get one question right, one question wrong, one question right, one question wrong. So at the point of time where you are stabilizing in terms of the difficulty of the question, that's where your score will be mapped onto. So that is why it is not necessary to understand the scoring pattern at all, because there is no fixed weightage for every question. So don't ask me how much plus, how much minus, how much for right answer, for wrong answer. All of those does not matter here at all. You just have to focus on the question which is present in front of you and then try to solve it correctly. And because it is an adaptive test, which means that the level of difficulty of the subsequent question is going to dependent upon the level of difficulty of the previous question, right? So then that means that you cannot go back to a question. Once you have answered a question, you cannot go back, because the response of the previous question has decided the difficulty level of the next question, right? Also, say suppose if you have gone to a question and you're not very sure of how to get the answer to that say question, do not skip it. Say mark a random answer to it and then move on, because number one, there is no concept of negative marking. So a question which is incorrect and a question which is not attempted is actually given the same amount of penalty. So you might as well take a random guess. Also, sometimes what happens inside these kind of adaptive tests is that if you get say if you don't mark a response for a say particular question, the computer will actually deem it as you trying to skew the system by not having that particular question count. So it might have a greater amount of penalty as well. So leaving the say question completely is a no option. Never leave a question. Mark a random option. Even if you get it incorrect, you can make up for it by getting a couple more correct answers later on. Right. So this is something that you need to keep in mind. Also, inside computer adaptive test, strategy is not important because you have to attempt all the questions. You don't have to pick and choose the questions like the cat paper. But at the same time, time management is very, very important because you have to reach till the last question. If you leave out, say 3-4 questions at the end because you did not have time to get to those questions, then all of the questions that you have left off will be considered to be an incorrect response. And because of that, your score, wherever you're stabilized in, whichever level of difficulty you have answered last, from there, the next 3-4 questions will be considered as wrong. So your score will drop because of the number of questions that you have left at the end of the paper. So you have to manage your time well. You have to be able to solve all the questions inside the paper, right? And take a guess anytime you are not very sure about the response of a particular question. So I hope the concept of an adaptive test is clear.
Yeah. So now the other thing that you need to keep in mind is while you write this exam, within after you have written the exams, within 48 hours, you're going to get your scorecard, and this is a score that will count towards your Narsimhoji's application form. Okay. Now, before you write the NMAT examination, it is very important that you also fill up the NMIMS form. If you do not fill the NMIMS form, your attempt, although you may write the NMAT examination, but that score will not be used for admission purposes by Narsimhoji. So this is something that even after repeatedly telling every year, there will be 4 to 5 students every year writing the exam and then coming back to us saying that I did not fill up the Narsimhoji form, I forgot or whatever. Please keep that in your calendar. Mark the date of NMAT and make sure that you have filled up the NMIMS form before the date of writing the NMAT examination. Okay. Very important. Now, if you're taking multiple attempts, you cannot write the examination within the first 15 days of having completed the first attempt. So, which means you have to wait for 15 days and then take, take a slot for retake. So, although you can apply for the retake right after having written the examination, but the slot that you're taking should be 15 days ahead, at least minimum 15 days ahead. Okay, it's an easy exam. I think every one of you should write the exam. Last year, we had somewhere about 27 people joining the Narsimhoji Mumbai campus from our center, which is one of the highest in the entire country. And that is high also because, we ask everybody to write the exam. So if you don't write the exam, you will lose an opportunity to get into one of those top colleges. And NMIMS is ranked among the top 15 in the country, okay, including all the IIMs and everything. So it's a nice college to be in. It's good for finance. It's good for marketing. It has a separate HR program which you can apply for. Right, so there's a lot more opportunities available in that college to apply for because there are 600 seats in the MBA program itself. Okay, so please do apply. Don't if you feel that you are gunning for the top colleges in CAT, but you don't still want to write some of these examinations, I would still suggest you to take this exam before the CAT exam in a real test situation. Write the exam, go for the interview of Narsimhoji before you go for the interview of the other other IIMs, so that you get prior experience of facing a live interview. You will also have a kind of an interview which you will probably face later on in your IIM, A, B, C, or whatever college that you're going to, right? So you can actually come back and fill your gaps after you have attended that particular interview process. So we have also recommended everybody to take the examination between the 21st of October and that's not 14th, sorry, that's 4th of November. So I'll just change that. Anything you would like to add on that timeline, because a lot of questions are going to come up.
So there are a lot of questions. Let me take them up one by one. So starting with Reshma. So Reshma, again, let me explain computer adaptive test absolutely clearly about what you want to pay attention here. Minimum that you can score inside each of the sections is 12. Maximum that you can score inside each of the sections is 120, which means that if you reach the highest level difficulty questions of each of the sections and you keep on answering the highest level difficulty of the questions correctly inside the paper, you'll get 120. If you are at a slightly lower level of difficulty is where you're landing onto, then you will get a score of 180. Right. So what will happen is that the paper will start off with an average level difficulty question, which is about 60 to 65 range. If you start answering correctly, you'll slowly climb up to a score of 75, 85, 90. And at 90 level questions, if your attempts are stabilizing, that you are not being able to solve questions which are of a higher level difficulty than 90, then your score will be 90. Now say, Reshma, suppose it so happens that you are say giving the say the verbal section of the paper, and you did not have time to attempt the last 6 questions. But the 22nd question that you got right, you were at a level of 100, right? So you were at the 100th level, so your score should be 100. But what the computer will do is that it will consider the last 8 or last 6 questions of the paper as an incorrect response from you. So because the last 6 questions have been marked wrongly by you, so which means that from 100, your score will first fall to 98, then to 90, then to 85, then to 80, then to 75. And you will then get a score of 75 because you did not attempt the last 6 questions, even though you have been able to successfully solve questions of a 100 level difficulty. But because you were unable to solve the last 6 questions correctly, your score will drop from 100 to a 75. That is what we have to absolutely avoid trying to do. Okay. Abhay, whatever you are asking is present in the screen. If you can look at the screen, you will get your answer. Right.
So I will just take this question, Varun, from Raghumer. After filling NMAT, we have to fill the NMIMS application in the same, that was a preference coming like MBA Mumbai, MBA Analytics, MBA others. The MBA campus in Mumbai is the first preference for everyone. No doubt on that. Okay. MBA campus in Mumbai will be ranked among the top 15 in the country. The rest of them will come lower. I would suggest for others, if you're interested in MBA HR should come second, right? And MBA Analytics will come third, right? And if you're applying for the other campuses, then NMIMS Bangalore is the best campus, followed by Hyderabad and Navi Mumbai at almost the same levels. You can choose whichever you want to pick up there. Okay. So once again, Narsi Monjee Mumbai, Narsi Monjee Mumbai HR, Narsi Monjee Mumbai Analytics, you have NMIMS Bangalore, and then you have the NMIMS Navi Mumbai and Hyderabad coming at the same level. Check out the eligibility criteria for the analytics program. If you fulfill the eligibility criteria, then only apply for that. Okay. I think there is some bit of eligibility there. Just check it out. I'm not very sure on that, but check that. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So few more questions, sir. I will just quickly go through here. Can we get NMAT style mocks? Are there NMAT mocks available? So guys, all of you have got NMAT mocks in your portal already activated, right? But none of you are supposed to take it, right? We will tell you, we will provide instructions as to when to take the mocks and how to take the mocks. You are not supposed to take the mocks till we tell you to. Will we have NMAT mock analysis sessions, Raghu? Absolutely not. Why? Because what are mock analysis sessions? They are supposed to help you strategize better inside the paper. NMAT paper, there is no strategy. You have to attempt all the questions. So we will tell you how to take the mocks. But apart from that, there is no point of sitting one-to-one with every candidate and performing a mock analysis sessions. Right? What is the ideal score for a GEM candidate? So Anandam, I think last year the
235
was
cut off. Mumbai.
Yeah, for on 360, right? So
360, yeah.
360, the cutoff was, sir, how much?
235.
Sorry, 235. Yeah. But this year it is highly possible that it might fall slightly lower than that. Of course, it depends upon the difficulty level of the paper and how everyone is doing. Why we feel that it might fall a bit lower is because everyone can take only one single attempt. Right? Previously, because of multiple attempts, people were scoring better in their later attempts, and because of which the cutoff was actually pushed up a bit higher. It can go low. So before the paper was adaptive in nature, the cutoff used to hover around 210 to 215. Last year, it was 235 as soon as the paper pattern changed. So this year, we will probably see a slightly lower level of cutoff if the paper standard and difficulty level is the same as last year.
235 was Narsi Monjee Mumbai. HR went at 230 and 225 was for Bangalore.
Yes. So, sir, I will pick up this question by Piyush. So Piyush has asked the question which I was waiting for. So he is asking, why shouldn't we give NMAT after CAT exam? that is in December, considering only one attempt for NMIMS Mumbai will be there, and we will be well prepared by them. Okay, so let me ask you this, Piyush, which is a more important examination? Is NMAT more important or is CAT more important? Of course, CAT is more important. How many attempts can you give for CAT? One single attempt, right? So if you are saying that you are waiting to finish off with the CAT examination, get prepared for CAT well, and then you are going to take NMAT, then you are actually prioritizing NMAT over CAT. You're saying that NMAT is a more important examination. CAT is my mock test for NMAT. I will take CAT, then I'll be very well prepared for NMAT and I will take it once. We believe in the opposite philosophy. We believe that NMAT is an easier examination. If you are not prepared for NMAT, you will never be prepared for CAT. So that is why we want you to experience the testing environment. We want you to give your best shot for NMAT, of course, but we want you to use the platform of NMAT to do very well inside the CAT examination, which is a much, much more important examination in which there are 10 times the number of colleges, actually more than 10 times the number of colleges that you can apply to than what you can apply to using the NMAT examination. Right? Also, we will be conducting the non-CAT examination classes which are relevant for NMAT in the end of September and in the beginning of October. We want you to take those classes, attend those classes, immediately apply that in a few mocks, because NMAT does not require as many mocks as CAT does, clearly because there is no strategization that you have to do, and then apply those concepts when you are already, or when you're at the peak level of familiarity with those concepts, and then give the examination and be done with, so that then you can again refocus on CAT. We don't want you to take those classes in the month of October and then wait for 2 months and then forget all those concepts and again rewatch those classes. You won't have time. Why? Because December has got multiple more examinations that you have to take. December 5th is IIFT, which again requires a focus of its own. December has got 2 different windows of SNAP, and we will definitely want you to take one of those windows, right? Unless you are
one window, Varun.
Sorry, one window of SNAP in say December, which several of you will be focusing on. So even if you don't take SNAP, then 1 month of preparation is actually required for ZAT, because ZAT is present in the first week of January. So immediately IIFT, we want people to focus on ZAT, which is again a more important examination than NMAT. And every year, apart from last year, of course, last year NMAT got delayed, but every year from our center, students were giving NMAT before the CAT examination, and that was helping them a lot in doing well inside the CAT examination, because you have an experience of the testing environment. So that is why we firmly believe, both Ajay sir and I, as well as Kushal and Diana, all of us firmly believe that the NMAT examination should be taken before the CAT examination if you value CAT more than NMAT. If you don't, then you can make your own decision.
Okay, I would like to add one more thing here to all of you. See, once we have discussed this, that we have to take the mock on the NMAT exam between this. After that, sending a message to me and telling me, sir, I want to take it in December, doesn't make any sense. That you decide. Okay. So what we can only recommend you, right? The rest of the thing you decide and do whichever way you want. It's up to you. But then we would recommend this. So there's no point again and again asking the same thing. We are not going to change the stance, because so many people, even after that form filling session, message me the same thing. What is the point of messaging when we are already telling you that it has to be taken during that time? Doesn't make sense. Okay. So I'm going to take few questions. Okay. So this is a question by Gauri. 1 minute. So many questions. I'm not able to see the questions now. Okay. But on what basis should we decide if we want to give a test at home or test in the center? Only convenience factor, Gauri, because if you think your test center is quite far off, which is the case in a lot of cities, please take it from home. Another thing is, do you have the infrastructure to take it? So if you don't have a power backup, you don't have an internet backup, I would not even ask you to take it from home. If you have an access to the center, it's better that way. But if at your home you have a good backup, power backup and a good internet backup, go ahead and take it at home. There's no problem. It doesn't matter.
Right. Yash is asking, can we book on any day between 21st October and 4th November? Yes, Yash. Whenever you get the slot, book it. Siddharth is asking, if you decide not to take admission to NMIMS later, will they refund? Yes, they do refund. They hold a very nominal amount of, I think, $2,000 or something like that. They
2,500.
2.5K they actually will hold, and they will release the rest of the amount to you. What should be the ideal strategy while attempting the paper B? That we will discuss later, Rahul. Strategy, how to take the mocks, that is for much later on, when we will tell you to take the mocks. So this is not the session where we'll be discussing that.
By the way, there is nothing called GEM candidate for Narsimoni, because GEM candidate criteria comes only where your engineering background and the male background is thick. There is nothing like that in any other exam.
Raghu is saying there was no option like first preference, second preference, third preference, just one tick box. So
somebody asked me that, so that's why I replied, because I never filled up the NMIMS form.
So if
somebody
there is
asked
no,
that which preference, so that's why we informed that.
if there is no preference, you will still take NMIMS Mumbai for sure. Beyond that, you take a call based on whichever.
HR also for sure, because nothing extra has to be paid for that.
Yeah, NMIMS Mumbai, NMIMS HR, definitely everyone has to apply. Sharan is asking, does NMIMS have MBA in operations? There is no specialization, as is the case with almost all of the IIMs as well. MBA is MBA. You can of course go there and you can say take up electives in operations, and then you can apply for placements in operations, of course. But there is no specific MBA in operations. I think this is a very common doubt that people have. Guys, you know, most of the colleges, there is no specialization. Your MBA degree will say MBA or it will say PGDM. You don't have PGDM in finance or PGDM in operations or PGDM in marketing written in most of the general MBA programs. You will get a certificate for MBA only.
Yeah.
You will study some specific coursework which is mandatory for everyone in the first few semesters or trimesters, and then you can take up electives to wherever you want to delve deeper and whatever kind of placements you want. Would the other campuses of NMIMS consider later attempts of NMAT? Rohitashvi, yes, they will. If you are not looking to apply to NMIMS Mumbai, but if you're looking to get into Bangalore, Hyderabad, or Navi Mumbai campuses, then they will actually look at the best of your 3 attempts. Right? They will take into consideration the remaining attempts as well. Sanjay, yes, NMAT is adaptive in nature in our portals.
Very clearly mentioned it is adaptive.
Will the NMAT mocks be adaptive? Okay, that's all. The colleges which you just talk about, NMIMS Bangalore, Hyderabad, do we need to separately apply for these, or is it enough to select NMIMS on NMAT form and just to fill NMIMS application?
NMIMS application has to be separately filled. You have to tick the colleges there. If you don't tick the college, you don't get a call from those colleges.
So whichever colleges somewhere you want to apply to, you have to tick all those colleges, and based on the number of colleges that you have ticked, your cost of the application will be scaled up a bit.
Yeah. Aisha, thanks for that numbers, because it's 76, 76, 76 sectional last year, 235 overall. So that's what it was.
We just have to fill one form, right, Aditi? No, you don't. You have to fill up NMAT form separately, Aditi, and then you have to fill up NMIMS forms also separately.
NMIMS form comes at a cost. So somebody asked, you have to pay money? Yeah, you have to pay money for every form that you're filling. No form comes free.
But so low marks in NMAT can put pressure on the exam, CAT exam, right? Low marks in CAT can then put pressure on NMAT examination. Why are we being pessimistic? If you have gotten low mark in NMAT examination, use that as a motivation to do better inside the CAT examination. I think that motivation should fuel that. How can you get low marks, right? I think that the challenge you have to take up. So it is a question of mentality, nothing else.
In the NMIMS application, there is preferences, there is choices given to you. You can pick up all the choices for the Narsee Monjee colleges that you're applying.
So Drivang is asking for retake. Can we take it after the CAT examination? Yes. If you are wanting to take examination more than once, NMAT more than once, then definitely take the retake attempts after the CAT examination. Because once the first week of November starts, we want you all to start refocusing on CAT again, right? So don't take NMAT in November after the 4th of November. Okay.
So Arindam, there is only one cutoff, 235 for everyone. That's that's not a safe score, I would say, because at the end of it, when you're going for the interview, the score also plays a role, because there is about 70% weightage last year for the score and 30% weightage for your other, interviews and all that. If you get, you try to get as high as possible in your NMAT examination.
Okay. Does colleges under NMAT come under CAT as well? So Rohan, some of these colleges accept CAT, NMAT, ZAT, all these scores. So for example, XUB HR accepts ZAT scores as well. They have got their own examination as well. So what's that called?
GMAT. GMT.
Yeah. So a few of the colleges accept NMAT, CAT and ZAT scores, but most of the colleges will actually, which come under the Narsee Monjee wing, will only accept the NMAT scores. For example, NMIMS Mumbai, NMIMS Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Navi Mumbai will not accept any other examination scores apart from NMAT.
Achha, so guys, Navneet has asked the same question again. So everybody, few of you are asking me the same question. I have shown you there is a PDF file which is available on the NMAT website called the application handout. Okay, please download that, all of you. every single doubt that you're asking me here in terms of, how to attempt, how many attempt and all that is everything very clearly mentioned in that. And it's just a 2-page stuff. Go through that once, please. So before applying, it makes a lot of sense to actually go through that document. Just a PDF file, applicant's handout there on the Narsi Monji's website. If you still don't know where to pick it up, I've given the website link on the Narsi Monji's NMAT form filling session itself.
Rishwant is asking, when will MAT and CMAT exams be conducted? They have not come up with the notifications yet.
No, MAT September is over. February will come next.
So February will come, and as soon as the notifications are out or form is out, we will be put up the notifications on our website as well.
By the way, we don't recommend any of you to write the MAT exam because we don't recommend going into any of those colleges. So Rishwant, I don't know why you want MAT. Please talk to me if you are having any college in mind. Let's be very clear on this, guys. Unless and until you have some specific college that you want to get to, which you have discussed with us, we don't recommend MAT and CMAT as the exam. So last year, CMAT was recommended to only people who wanted to apply for Great Lakes and for people who are looking forward for the Jim Goa's file-based calls. Okay. For other colleges, we don't recommend to write these two exams because there's no other good college in this. Better not do an MBA from these colleges. Very low-level colleges under MAT and CMAT.
Akshat is asking, when do we fill the IIFT form? Again, we will have a form filling session for that, and once that is out, you can fill up the form. Okay.
So IIFT form, if you want, you can go and fill also. It's only one day. There is nothing in that form. If you have a problem filling up the form, then anyway the form filling session is coming up on Saturday. Thursday we have the Snap form filling session.
Sundaram is asking, what do you mean by internet backup? Sundaram, you have a router at home. Do you have a UPS for that? If not, then if this a power cut happens, then you will not be able to give the examination, right? So make sure that you have got a UPS for your router. That's what we mean by internet backup. How much will it cost for the battery?
Yeah.
Sharan is asking, how much will it cost for the second attempt? So once again, NMAT registration you have to pay full amount. You don't have to fill up the forms once again for retake. Okay, college form you have to fill up only once. So NMIMS Mumbai, NMIMS Hyderabad, Bangalore, all those application forms you have to fill up only once. But NMAT, for every take that you are applying for, you have to pay the NMAT registration fees in full once again. Yes, Divyangana, for Snap, we will be coming up with form filling videos and instructions as to which college is to be selected by who. That we will do. Okay. Will we be able to do well in exams within 1 month? So Ajay, like this concept of within 1 month is wrong. You have already been preparing for NMAT. You have already prepared all the topics of quant. You have already prepared for majority of the topics of verbal as well. And logical reasoning, of course, there is no preparation which is required. It's only that you have to get familiarity with the topics. So who is saying that you're preparing for 1 month? You have been preparing for 6 months at the minimum. Okay. So
I would like to answer Ajay's question by saying every year there are so many people from the center who do that. Getting multiple calls in all these exams.
And it's a very simple examination. If we had thought that it requires more than a month of preparation, we would have started preparation earlier. So that's why for that, we say that you need 1 month. You know why? Because one section is new. So prepare for SAT for 1 month in December.
Ajay, one more thing is you see the non-CAT topic, what is there, no? And those non-CAT topics, if you can't do a directions question after attending one class in the first day, that day itself, please don't write NMAT exam. Because directions question, family tree question, which comes in NMAT, does not require you 1 month preparation at all. It takes 1 day. That's all.
Okay. Next, NMIMS form, do we have to pay separately? Yes, you have to pay separately, Reshma. Is other campuses in Mumbai campus have common placement? No, Anish, all the campuses have separate placements. I think previously, Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Navi Mumbai used to have common placements. But now I think Bangalore has a separate placement for sure. Even Sir Hyderabad and Navi Mumbai have got
every campus has separate placement.
Indore also has separate placements.
Yes.
So
235 was the cutoff. What is a good score? We had a student in our center who scored a 265. 70 somebody, Varun? Last year?
270 plus, sir. I think.
270 plus, yeah. 70 plus.
I think someone, I don't remember who actually scored 270 plus last year. So should NMAT form be filled before NMIMS form, or it can be done in any order? I think you first register for NMAT, Kishore, and then fill up. NMIMS makes more sense. Okay. But make sure that you're registering for NMIMS at least 24 hours before your say beginning of the NMAT examination for you. Right? Say if your NMAT examination booking date is tomorrow, then by today midnight, you should have registered for NMIMS.
Agul, GMAT does not come under the purview of any of these exams. GMAT is a separate course altogether. Okay, so we don't discuss GMAT in the CAT session. SPGN profile-based call. SPGN form is not yet out, Yashasvi, so let it come out, then we'll discuss. I don't know whether it is out. As of day before yesterday, so I saw it was not out. It is expected although this month.
So Piyush is asking, how can you say it's an easy examination if difficulty level of the question keeps on increasing? Piyush, the thing is that even the toughest question is easier than the CAT's moderate level question. That is how deep the paper is. Right? So that is why we say that it's an easy paper, because they are not as concept intensive, or they don't have as lengthy a question as say the CAT paper has. The CAT's most difficult section, LRD, is not even present inside NMAT paper. Reading comprehension.
Clear on the scoring also, no? 235 out of 360 for a 108 questions paper.
And also reading comprehension, which is the toughest part of the CAT paper, has got minimum weightage inside NMAT. So all the questions that you're going to be getting, the types of questions itself is easy. Plus the standard of questions is going to be easy, even the toughest level questions. That's what makes the paper easy objectively. Saransh, where exactly does NMIMS Mumbai stand compared to IFT and new IMS? Definitely better than new IMS. Yeah. Definitely better than new IMS. IFT Delhi may be better, but also IFT Kolkata and NMIMS are kind of comparable.
Yeah.
In terms of
so just to give a quick ranking of NMIMS, last year it was ranked at about 14 and 14th ranked among all the colleges, out of which the top 10 had IMAB, CL, IK. So after that you had FMS and XLRI also in that. So among all those colleges it came 14.
Rohit Ashwa is saying if 235 was the cutoff, what was a good score last year? So
yeah, that's what I said. It can be as high as 72.8.
I've got a personal message from Devansh saying, with news around that colleges like SRM and VIT are opening, should we, what would happen if we choose our hometown as a test center? So Devansh, all of these colleges would require, say, a consent form to be signed by your parents to go and attend the classes on say campus. If not, they might call you for some examinations to the campus. But if you are willing to have the consent form signed and then you're deciding to go to the campus, then you please book your location at the site of these colleges. If you're not willing to go, if your parents are not willing to find the consent form, sign the consent form, then you take it from home, right? Or take it near your hometown.
Okay, Aditi, there's no difference in the reading comprehension part. Reading comprehension in NMIMS is way easier than what you're going to do in CAT.
And anyway, I will discuss a slightly different strategy, which is going to be much more simpler than the strategy that you are say required for the CAT paper, as far as NMAT examination is concerned. Okay, that we will do when we are going to discuss the mock tests.
Right. And also at that NMAT, SNAP, IFT, TestNet. Apart from that, Arushi, you can also apply for MyCAT. You can also look at CMAT if you are applying for the Jim Goa's profile-based call. Okay, so for those those two exams also you may consider.
Yes, Aditi, start with NMAT registration and after that NMIMS college. Okay. So during the month of October, yes.
Yeah, Varun, please go ahead. Sorry.
During the month of October, we need how many weeks dedicated to prepare for NMAT? So Samiran, I would say 2. So to say 2.5 weeks. We don't recommend anything more than 20 days specifically for NMAT preparation.
Okay, so all of you know, just we have been doing this for the last so many years, right? And we got, I don't think there is any other center which sends more students to NMIMS than our center. Okay. Last year it was 27 students in NMIMS from the center. And that is out of 600 seats. That's about 5% of the batch. And we have never asked students to prepare for more than 2 weeks for the NMAT. That is more than enough. If you can't prepare for 2 weeks and crack the NMAT exam, then you can't forget CAT. No, Varun?
Yes, absolutely. NMAT is a very simple examination. It does not require strategy. It does not require any kind of new concepts. And the types of questions and standard of questions is way easier.
Way easier. And you'll see that when you actually write the exams and the mocks.
Raghu, for every examination, there will be complete handholding. Right. Last year also, we did the sessions completely for each and every one of the examinations. We had knowledge sessions. I had taken the mocks. I sat and gave strategy for every mocks, and I also will tell you how much you have to score in each of the sections, which questions to be focused on, which questions not to be focused on, where to waste, where you can spend time, where not to waste time inside the paper. Everything will be conducted. We are a one-stop for all the MBA examination preparation. Okay, so you don't need to worry about that.
The only thing that we will not do is MAT and CMAT because that's the lowest level of exam that anybody can write. We don't recommend even writing that exam. Okay? So that's why we don't do it. So if you're writing MICA also, we will handhold you. MICA, MICAT exam, TISNET exam also.
Amish, of course, if they're giving out an NMAT guide, please go through it. We will also be giving you a guide for NMAT. Go through that as well. Right.
Actually, that NMAT has come out with a book, right? NMAT by GMAC. If you want, you can buy that book. That book gives you a very good idea about the examination. It also gives you a lot of practice question in that. So it's worthwhile buying that book if you want.
So now I think people have started comparison of different colleges. Arindam, NITI Mumbai and NMIMS, I will not compare.
Can't even compare. NITI is operations.
NITI is core operations MBA only. Right? We cannot compare it with a general MBA degree. NITI is number one for operations in India. That's all I will say. Ideal exact date for Samiran. So I would actually, Samiran, I would like everyone to take it in the month of October. Right? Try not to take it after the 1st of November, but we are given you till 4th of November because the slots are not available. Then for 2 weeks window, you have to pick up the slots.
So Rishwant, is it really good to do an MBA in a new IIM? That entirely depends on you, Rishwant, because when you are actually looking at a college and looking at what you are wanting to gain out of an MBA program that you're doing, looking at the companies that are coming to the campus, the kind of course curriculum which is on offer, the kind of peer group which is there, you decide what is good for you because everybody has a different aspiration when they are actually looking at colleges, right? I had a student some 4 or 5 years back who actually did not go for the Lucknow interview because he found Lucknow not good enough. He did not go for Kozhikode. He did not go for Indore interview. Would you also skip? No. This is because he was sitting on a 30 lakh rupee job already. So he did not want to go to any other college. What is good for you, you can only decide. But the placement figures and the college curriculum is available on their website for you to check. CMA comes under CAT, yes.
Sir, I'm applying for Great Lakes, so for me, CMAT is recommended. So, Sharan, if you feel that you are not going to do well inside CAT or ZAT to warrant a call from Great Lakes, then you can take CMAT as a backup option. But Great Lakes accepts CAT and ZAT already. And the cutoff does not go very high especially for freshers. I think
CMAT is only accepted for the 2-year program. 1-year program, CMAT is not accepted. I don't know whether it is accepted this year. Last year,
Sharan is a fresher, so I think he will have to apply for 2-year program. And but CAT cutoff for 2-year program goes at 80%. Right? PGPM program goes at 80 percentile for Great Lakes. I think you should be able to clear it.
2-year program is a PGTM program, no? PGTM. Last year went at 75
percentile. So I think you should be able to clear that. I don't think that CMAT is necessary for just to apply for Great Lakes.
And Ajay, NMAT LR and verbal be similar to SNAP. NMAT, actually the SNAP paper is even more easier than the NMAT paper. It's a 60-minute paper and very, very short. You just have to do what you can and finish it off that paper, Ajay. So NMAT LR, I would say slightly more intensive as compared to the SNAP.
Yes, SNAP paper is the easiest. It is even easier than NMAT. Sundaram, that decision I will leave it up to you completely. If you feel that you need absolute complete focus on CAT, I can actually understand that. So then that's okay. Ashwin, again, comparison of colleges. Guys, I think that you should watch the video that Ajay sir has already posted on his YouTube channel, in which he has ranked all the colleges. So
I removed that video, Varun. I'm just working on it, so I'll put it back.
Okay, so we'll actually put that back again.
Because that was made last year, so we need to make some changes in that.
NMIMS Mumbai and SIBM Pune are absolutely neck to neck when it comes to rankings. Okay? There's hardly anything to separate the two. CAT, ZAT, SNAP, NMAT, IFT, TISNET, MyCAT. Yes, these are the examinations that we recommend that people take.
Yes.
Can the remote slots of NMAT also be filled up? Yes, Rohitash, it can get filled up. It's less likely though, because it will depend upon the availability of proctors, right? So someone has to sit and proctor your examination, who will be looking at you taking the examination through your webcam. So if the proctors are not available, then you might not get slots. But I don't think that getting a proctor will be as difficult as booking a slot at a center. So I think it should be open, right? So if you
one word of caution, Varun, there to Rohitash, actually even the center slots which is there, no, what you're seeing there is not the only available slot. Okay, these guys in GMAT don't open up the slot. Once one of those days gets filled up, no, the other day will open up. So it's not that they filled all the test dates in the test center and they are now sitting and only giving test from home, take from home dates or something. They'll slowly start opening up more slots. They optimize it. That's why it's like that.
Samiran, you have taken 19 December and 16 Jan for SNAP. Good enough. That is fine. Okay. When can we write?
Yeah, MyCat will be in Jan. December end, sorry.
So there will be two different MyCats. We generally suggest that people take MyCat 2 because we don't want to disrupt the XAT exam preparation. So you can wait and you can take the second slot of MyCat, which happens in the month of January.
No, February last year, Varun, I think.
Yeah, last year it was delayed, but generally it happens in January.
Yeah. SIBM is better than SAMHRD, definitely.
SIBM Pune is better than SAMHRD.
Better than, correct.
By when should we book the slots at the latest? So Rohitash, the earlier the better. That's all I'll say, right? You keep on checking for slots if you're taking from the center. As soon as it opens, book it. If you're pursuing course for MBA General, MBA Finance, or MBA Operations, should we still pick MBA HR and Analytics?
No, not necessarily.
If you're absolutely sure that you're not interested in HR, okay, don't say that I'm not interested in HR because so and so told me. If you know yourself what is exactly HR and what happens in MBA HR and human resources, if you have proper sense of an idea, then you decide that okay, I don't want it because I don't like it. But because XYZ told you that HR is not good, it's not a reason for you to not pick HR as one of the programs to be applied for.
I would like to take this Samiran's question. Samiran, you know, the 2 papers that you have in Nursing Munji itself is too much. So you're saying the paper is too easy. Not even use those 2 papers.
Saran, you can apply for SNAP. Okay, we will also be coming up with the form filling video instructions. If you want, you can say apply for it. But if you have any questions or doubts with respect to the form, then you can wait for our video to be put up.
So 2 examinations for which we will not have the form filling session among these colleges that we talked about, ISNET and MyCat. There'll be no form filling session, guys, because those forms are like very easy to fill. I don't think it's even required, and very few of you will be actually applying. I know. So every year from our center there are hardly 5-7 people applying. So for that I'm not going to make a form filling session. If you have any doubt regarding the form filling, let us know and we'll help you out.
Someone's mic is on. Just a second. Okay. Next question by from Ranit. If you have your exam on 27, should I start taking mock by 5th or 6th October? No, Ranit, we will tell you when to take the mocks. We have told you to book a slot between 21st to say 4th November, right? So even if you're taking on the say 21st, we will tell you when to take the mocks and how to take the mocks. Please wait for instruction. Don't just randomly take the mocks. There is also a few things that you need to keep in mind to make effective use of the mock test which has been provided to you. How is this MA HRM? So Ram Kumar, I think a very absurd question. How can you compare an HR program with a general MBA program? I think it's like comparing apples and oranges. Right?
It's rank number 2 for HR. 20 lakh is the average pack.
If you are interested in HR, then it is one of the best colleges that you can look for in the continent, not just in the country. For NMAT to be given in the center, will more dates show up? Yes, Raghu, more dates will show up because that's what GMAT does. That as the slots get booked up, it then keeps on opening up new slots for students to fill up. Right? It waits to open up slots because it wants to make maximum utilization of the centers which are open. Right? It doesn't want to just keep the center open for one person to come in. Right?
Aditi, so to all of you, that SNAP, NMAT, IFT, please fill. Okay, don't wait for me now. I'm going to put the SNAP form filling on Thursday. I'm putting that SNAP form filling. When you see that form filling session itself, you'll come to know it is such a short session that I'm going to do because there is nothing in that form. I'm just doing it because people who have confusion on choosing the colleges, they will get some help from that session. Otherwise, if you know the colleges very well, please go ahead and fill up the SNAP form. Please don't wait for IFT also. The IFT form is again a simple form, and there's only one single college there, which is IFT, and IFT Delhi is the best college. Everybody knows that. Kolkata comes second. So there's nothing else in that.
Samiran says in the center we are given paper this year or marker board. So as usual, till last year the marker board was given, and they will give you a sketch pen to write on it with, so you can erase it and rewrite on it. That's what they provide generally at all these GMAT centers. So most probably that is what you'll get. Ajay, again for the last time, I won't discuss NMAT walks right now. We will give you instructions later on when it is relevant. It is not relevant to this session. Yes, Arish, you're absolutely right. HR ranking, first is XLR HR, next is test HR.
Yeah.
So there won't be any center choice issues.
Which one, Rahul, for which SNAP you're talking about? SNAP, as of yesterday, I filled up my form. Every place it was showing available. But in that form, there is nothing actually, hardly any little bit of personal details is all that you need to fill. You can actually go ahead and fill, because if you have a doubt on the college, only then you need to wait. And SIBM Pune comes first and SCM HRD comes second in that. So there's no doubt.
College choices, you can just wait for one day. We will get back to you.
Thursday is the session, 9:30, SNAP. And I'm going to discuss the colleges too in that.
Looks like we're at the end of all the questions.
Yeah. So I'll quickly run through this.
Yes.
So we have discussed all this, so we don't want you to be taking CAT as a first examination and test out your preparation. Okay. And taking NMAT earlier will also space out your examinations. That's part of it. Yeah, so a lot of people have this doubt that whether I should apply for Narsi Munji, where does the ranking come and all that. So this I picked up not for the last year's placement, the year before that. Okay. Because that is more reflective of their placements, because last year almost all colleges had trouble in terms of their placement, including IMABC. So compared to that, the year before that was the correct placements that we can look at. So this is the placement report for them. That's all about the session. If you have any more doubts, we'll just wait. Otherwise, we'll wind up the session.
What is the batch size? Okay, Arindam, I
600 students.
Yeah,
for MBA program, 60 for HR.
Yes, Divyangar, NMIMS form is out.
Form filling session is also in NMIMS form. Yes, NMIMS form is out. Yes.
It's out.
I showed you, apply now. There is a button in that if you go to the Narsi Munji website.
Okay, Vignesh, I'll repeat once again. Exams that you have to apply to: CAT, ZAT, SNAP, IIFT, NMAT, TISNET, MyCAT. These are all the examinations that we want you to take. Okay.
TISNET if you are interested in HR.
Yeah, TISNET if you're interested in HR specifically. Right now, we have already conducted form filling sessions for CAT and NMAT. We will be conducting this form filling session for SNAP day after tomorrow. So if you want, you can wait till day after tomorrow, watch the session and then fill up the form. And by the end of this week, we will also conduct the session for IIFT.
IIFT Saturday.
Yeah. And ZAT also. And ZAT we have already conducted.
All of you, I want you to just wait for a moment before you leave, because I just want you to just give you one more. Varun, I wanted to show them that where they can check all this out on the website, that there's no confusion after that. So all of you, if you go to the website of, okay, I'm just going to put a screen share again. So all of you know the website, right? So gradsqr.com. So if you go to the website here, see this videos tab. So Varun, it's visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there's a videos tab here and a forms update tab. I don't know why you have not seen this, because this message was sent before 1 month, all of you, the form update tab there. Go to the form update tab and you will also see a notice board there. That's our notice board, and it says apply for CAT, ZAT, NMAT, SNAP and IFT. Very clear. Okay. And MBA entrance exam, if you go to that, will see the notification. So download CAT notification, download press release, form filling session by Ajay, important announcement on graduation criteria for CAT. And then it also has got the table of all the examinations put up there. The links where you can go and click and start filling up the form too. I hope everybody has seen this. Okay. And this will keep on getting updated. As the forms start coming up for the colleges, the college forms will also get updated. There will be a tab coming up here, college MBA, instead of MBA entrance exam, there will be another one, MBA college forms. And that if you click, you will be able to see the forms there too. Okay. Similarly, in the video section, we will have right now we have the MBA form filling videos put up there. And all the form filling videos are put up in one place itself. Okay, so you can go and check this out. So all these form filling sessions are over. In future also, if you're not knowing what form filling sessions are conducted, you can probably go and check this out from there. Okay. And also the 100 days to CAT that we are conducting the sessions. By day after tomorrow, you'll also see that will be a tab under the videos where you can actually see the 100 days to CAT, all videos one after the other, because we're going to have a lot of sessions coming up almost every alternate day now. So all those sessions will get added here. Okay. So just want to show you that because a lot of people were asking this. Navneet, I would request you to go and read that form because I'm also not 100% sure. But I think it now says NMIMS MBA program. So now all the programs have been converted to MBA. So please check it once. Okay, Navneet. It's there in that PDF file. For all of you who are asking where is that, so you go to the NMIMS website, this nmims.edu, you can go and check that out. Admissions open for 2022. Right? Go and check it out here. Varun, any other question? So here it is. Okay. So this is the admission handout that I was talking about. And you scroll down and you see the applications here. Apply now. Okay. And in this admission handout, you also have all the details out there, which we have already discussed in the form filling session.
Ajay, I think will not let go of the mock at all. Ajay, you focus on CAT preparation now, September only now. Till October, you don't ask me any question about NMAT preparation, please.
Yeah, there is a reason why we are not telling you this, because we don't want you to get your focus out of CAT right now. CAT focus is the most important thing. If you focus on NMAT right now, your CAT goes for a toss. Please don't do that. Okay. And we are telling you with experience. This is up to you. And CAT, NMIMS mock details are there on your portal. So you don't even have to ask us. There is a non-CAT schedule which is put up there. Please go and check it there. It says candidates are requested to register for NMIMS and candidate can appear or NMIMS will accept candidates from main exam only. I hope this is clear. Okay, so geometry is important for NMAT also, Ajay. Yes, because data sufficiency last year, I remember in my paper, there were 3 geometry questions. And in the other sections, mensuration, I think my paper had 1 or 2. That we will discuss later. Okay, so this session is for NMAT, so let's stick.
Right. So that's it. All right, guys. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, all of you. Have a good night.